Hi, I'm Britt Wyatt and today we're going to be making Minion cupcakes. So here's one I made earlier. We have our lovely Minion on our cake, and the first thing that we're going to do is make the Minion face. So for that we need some yellow icing and a circle cutter that covers the same size as your cupcake. So then we're going to roll out the yellow icing, and you want to roll it about a pound coin thickness. So we don't want it too thin to show any lumps and bumps underneath the icing. We want it to be nice and smooth. So you want to keep lifting and turning your icing so that it doesn't stick as well. Once you've rolled it out, you want to press down the cutter and give it a twist so that it has a nice clean break, and take away the edge. And this will be the start of our Minion face. So I'll pop that there for now. Then the next thing we're going to do is the eye. So for that you need some white icing and a smaller circle cutter. I'm going to do a one-eyed Minion, so he's going to have an eye right in the middle, but if you wanted to do two eyes you just need a smaller cutter so you can cut two out. Just going to roll out the white icing, again lifting and turning it so it doesn't stick. Cut it down and pop it out like that. And then with a paintbrush and a small amount of edible glue, you don't need a lot for this, a little bit of glue, and we can stick the eye down like so. Then the next thing we're going to do is make the surround for his goggles, and with that you just need some grey icing, and we're going to roll that out, again lifting and turning it all the time as we do it. Now for this, what you'll need is the circle cutter you used to cut out the eye, and one slightly bigger. And the way we're going to do this is to cut out the larger one first, like so, and then the same size as the eye, very gently cut that out and peel away the frame. And that's going to be the frame for our goggles. And for that, a tiny bit of edible glue all the way around the eye, and very gently stick the frame into place. And that makes the middle bit of the goggle. Now to make the surround, bring back your grey icing that you've just cut out, and with the same size cutter you want to cut a half moon shape on either side of the circle that you just cut out, and then we can get rid of that. And then with a small amount of edible glue on the back, glue the surround of the goggle. Into place, like so. And then to finish the goggle off, we're just going to use a tool to give it a little bit of texture. There we go. Once we've got the surround of the goggle, we can then fill in the rest of the eye. And for that, we want a little bit of brown icing and an even smaller cutter. I want to roll out the brown icing, cut out our circle, and you might need the end of your paintbrush just to poke it out, and then a bit more edible glue. We can put the eye down like so, and then with a little bit of black, you don't need a cutter for this, just roll a very small ball in your hands of black icing, and then down towards a corner. Don't put it directly in the middle, you want to put it down toward a corner to give it a bit more character. You can put down the pupil like that. And then the last bit of the eye, you want an even smaller bit of white icing and a tiny dot of edible glue just to give it a little glisten. And then to finish our Minion, we're going to use some more of the black icing. So you want to roll out your black icing quite thin, maybe a 20p piece this time. And with a cutting wheel, we're just going to cut a strap for the goggles. So you just want a thin bit of icing, like so. And then with the glue along the sides of the goggles. And glue your straps into place. And then you can just simply cut the excess icing off so that it surrounds your topper. And finally, the last thing for our minion is his mouth. We want him to be quite surprised. So we're going to use a small cutter. Again, you might want to poke out your circle of icing. A little bit of glue in place. And you can glue his surprised expression down. And if you leave it on some foam to dry, and then top your cupcakes with it once it's set. And that is Minion Cupcakes.